The late morning sun spilled through the windows of Harper's Cafe, the kind of small-town coffee shop where everyone seemed to know everyone else. At a corner table, Officers Harris and Cole lounged in their uniforms, boots kicked out, their laughter echoing across the room as they swapped crude jokes. The bell above the door chimed, and in walked a tall black woman in her mid-30s, her stride steady and assured. She wore dark jeans, a crisp white blouse, and a fitted navy blazer. Nothing flashy, yet there was something undeniably commanding about her presence. She stepped to the counter, scanning the menu with a relaxed smile before ordering a cappuccino. From their table, Harris elbowed Cole and nodded toward her. "Well, look at that," he muttered, smirking. They watched her closely, their eyes crawling over her as though she were an outsider trespassing on their turf. As she passed their table with her drink, Harris leaned back in his chair and called out, "Careful, sweetheart, this isn't your kind of neighborhood." His voice was loud enough for nearby patrons to hear, drawing a few curious glances. The woman stopped for the briefest moment, turning her head to meet his gaze. Her eyes were calm, but there was steel beneath them. "I'll keep that in mind," she replied evenly, her tone neither defensive nor submissive. She took another slow sip of her coffee and walked toward the door, her composure unshaken. Harris and Cole exchanged a look, their smirks deepening. To them, she was just another unfamiliar face, someone they could intimidate for sport. They didn't know her name, her position, or the fact that within hours, their smug little world was going to shift in ways they couldn't imagine. The moment she stepped outside, the cool breeze greeted her, but so did the heavy footsteps behind. Harris and Cole had followed her out, their shadows stretching long on the sidewalk. Cole moved first, casually leaning against the cafe's doorframe, effectively blocking her way back inside. Harris circled slowly to her side, his smile tight and smug, as if he were closing in on prey. "So," Harris began in a falsely friendly tone, "you new here. Maybe we can show you around." His eyes scanned her in a way that made it clear his offer was anything but genuine. She kept her posture straight, meeting his gaze without a flicker of fear. "No need," she said calmly. "I know my way around better than you think." Cole chuckled under his breath, exchanging a look with Harris that carried a silent agreement. The push further. "See, here's the thing," Harris said, stepping closer, his voice dipping to a low, patronizing drawl. "This is our town. We don't take kindly to strangers thinking they can just do whatever they want." His words were sharp, but his tone was laced with the arrogance of someone who believed there'd be no consequences. The woman sipped her coffee, unbothered, letting the silence between them stretch until it became uncomfortable. "You're not from here," Harris continued, tilting his head. "So you don't make the rules. We do." She looked at him for a long moment, her lips curving into the faintest smile, one that didn't reach her eyes. "Is that so?" she asked softly. Something in her voice made Harris hesitate for a fraction of a second. Though he quickly masked it, Cole shifted his stance, sensing she wasn't reacting the way most did. But they weren't ready to back down. Not yet. The tension outside Harper's Cafe began to thicken like a summer storm. A young couple walking by slowed their pace, sensing something was off. Just a few feet away, an older man paused mid-step, eyes narrowing as he watched the two uniformed officers standing far too close to the lone woman. Cole shifted against the doorframe, his arms folded, wearing a smirk that didn't match the uniform's supposed dignity. Harris stood in front of her, his posture loose, but his gaze sharp, as if daring her to defy him. "Is this how you treat all women here?" she asked, her voice even, but carrying enough weight to turn a few more heads. Cole let out a short laugh, glancing at Harris. "Only the pretty ones who don't know their place," he said, his words oozing disrespect. Somewhere in the growing circle of onlookers, a phone camera clicked to life, its small red recording, light catching Harris's eye. He straightened slightly, but pride wouldn't let him back down. "Let's not make this complicated," Harris said, his tone hardening. "You're going to leave quietly. Understand?" She sipped her coffee slowly, her gaze never leaving his. "Oh, I understand plenty," she replied, her words deliberate, each syllable etched with something unreadable, something that made both men blink. The crowd was bigger now, whispers running through it like an electric current. A mother held her child's hand tighter, while the teenagers exchanged wide-eyed looks, phones up and recording every second. Harris adjusted his belt, clearly aware of the audience, but unwilling to lose face. Cole glanced around nervously, realizing the that their little show of dominance had become a public performance one they were no longer in control of. And the woman? She looked as though she'd been in this position before and had always come out on top. Before Harris could fire off another remark, the deep purr of an engine broke through the murmurs of the crowd. A sleek black SUV pulled up to the curb, its tinted windows reflecting the late morning sun. The vehicle door opened, and out stepped Chief Daniels, the long-serving head of the town's police department. His silver hair caught the light, and his polished badge glinted. As he scanned the scene, Harris's face lit up with relief, certain that backup had arrived to put this outsider in her place. "Chief Daniels," he called out, a cocky grin spreading across his face. But the grin faltered as Daniels walked straight past him, ignoring his greeting, and stopped in front of the woman. His expression softened instantly. "Ma'am," Daniels said respectfully, extending his hand. "Welcome to your first day. The department's been expecting you." The crowd erupted in gasps, and Harris's stomach sank like a stone. Cole's jaw slackened, his smirk vanishing completely. The woman set her coffee cup down on the SUV's hood and shook Daniels' hand firmly. "Thank you, Chief," she said, her voice calm and confident. Then she turned to Harris and Cole, her gaze steady, almost surgical in its precision. "I'm Chief Maya Carter," she announced, her voice carrying effortlessly over the stunned silence. "You'd have just given me a live demonstration of the very behavior I came here to fix." Harris opened his mouth, but no words came out. Cole shifted uncomfortably, glancing at the dozens of phones still recording. Chief Carter didn't smile, but her eyes glimmered with the quiet satisfaction of someone who had just reclaimed the upper hand. For the first time since she walked into Harper's Cafe, Harris and Cole realized they weren't the hunters in this moment, they were the prey. The air outside the cafe felt heavier now, as if the entire town was holding its breath. "Chief." Carter let the silence linger, making sure Harris and Cole felt the weight of every pair of eyes on them. "Both of you," she said firmly, "to the station now." Her tone left no room for argument. Harris's cheeks burned crimson, and Cole's hands fidgeted at his sides, but neither dared to resist. As they walked toward the SUV, the crowd parted, their eyes following the disgraced officers. Some bystanders smirked, others shook their heads, but everyone knew they'd just witnessed the beginning of a shift in power. Chief Daniels opened the SUV's back door for them, his face unreadable, while Carter addressed the crowd. "Harassment and abuse of authority have no place in this department or this town. That ends today." Her voice was steady, carrying a promise that rang louder than any threat. At the station, the formalities were swift. Body cam footage was pulled. Witness statements were taken, and by late afternoon, Harris and Cole were placed on unpaid leave pending a full investigation for misconduct and harassment. Word spread quickly by evening. The entire town was buzzing about the new police chief, who took on her own men. Before even stepping into her office, some officers in the department bristled at the news, but others felt a quiet surge of hope. As Chief Carter stood in her new office later that night, the setting sun spilling gold across her desk, she took a deep breath. This was only the first battle, but it was a victory that sent a message loud and clear. In this town, power no longer belonged to those who abused it, and for Harris and Cole, their reign of intimidation was over for good. If you enjoyed this story, hit the like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and share it with others. Don't forget to subscribe to the Silent Side USA for more powerful and gripping stories.